I'm going to turn this empty building into the biggest Create Mega Factory I can possibly construct. But I have some rules. First off, I can only use vanilla Minecraft and Create components, so that means no storage drawers, no backpacks, and no framed blocks for decoration. Secondly, if I require a resource for this factory that can be made with Create, I must make it with Create. I can only use creative chests for things that are base resources. And lastly, I have to do all of this in only 8 hours, as I only have 1 day spare to record this. And to be honest, I'm really looking forward to it. And before we get started, I would like to say a huge thank you to CyberPower UK for sponsoring this video. I'm testing out a beast of a gaming PC that they've sent me. They're a world-leading custom PC manufacturer with over 20 years experience, a large team of PC builders, and the largest selection of PC parts in the UK. But I want to know what this particular machine can handle, hence the giant factory we're about to build. But let's take a quick look at this glorious machine. So this beautiful PC is loaded with a top-of-the-range Intel Core i9 processor, this one right here on screen, an RTX 4070 Super, and 32GB of DDR5 memory, as well as what we all know to be the most important aspect of any gaming PC, a selection of RGB lighting. What a machine, it looks so pretty. And if you want to check out this PC build for yourself and draw further over how shiny it is, check the link in the description. But for now, let's see how many conveyor belts and mechanical arms this thing can handle. So we are, of course, in a creative flat world for this. We have a factory front here, which I think looks pretty good, and inside we've got lots and lots of space. But what we don't have is a back wall because, well, I mean, this is a lot of space, but it's certainly not enough space to build the scale of factory I plan on building. So I've got myself a schematic of a repeatable section of this factory, and we're just going to keep going that way until, well, until the 8 hours are over, I guess. Over in the corner here, I've given myself a creative tank of water and lava, just so we don't have to worry about those things. And to be honest, I think the first thing we're actually going to need to put in here is going to be a power supply. So for this power plant, I think we're going to want, well, quite a lot of power, I would imagine. So we're going to start with a big one of these, which we can just about fit inside the factory. We'll be able to have 9 steam engines on each one, and we're going to need to give this thing a little bit of water just to kick it off. So what we're going to do is sneak this in here, stick in a pump, a cog, and this is the only place we're going to be using a creative motor. This is just to get everything started. There we go, and I think I'm actually going to put in maybe 4 of these. Yeah, 4 should do it. Then we'll attach all these together with a belt. I'm going to stick a rotational speed controller in there, and we're going to set the power of the whole, or the speed, I should say, of the whole plant to 128. And we'll, of course, adjust that where we need to, but I think that's a good starting point. And if we have a look at our stressometer, we're producing 2,000 power, which, considering we've not lit up the blaze burners, is actually quite surprising. But now we need to feed these guys some food, and I'd love to do blaze cakes, but one of my rules is that I can't use blaze cakes, basically, because I'd need to actually make the blaze cakes in our factory before we could then use them over here, which means we need to use lava. And usually I just pump lava directly into the blaze burners using the liquid fuel mod. However, we're not doing that today because, once again, vanilla. So the first thing I need is a belt across the front here where mechanical arms can pick stuff up. We want a vault at that end and another vault at this end. I'm going to stick a longer belt in there, slightly shorter one there. We have a funnel going in on that side, funnel coming out on that side, filtered one in, normal one out, and then we're going to need to power it. And to be honest, it doesn't need to be fast, so we can probably get away with just doing this. Wonderful. We stick a couple of gearboxes in there. If we just do this, we can get all of the things going. Wonderful. Then I'm just going to set a couple of filters, lava buckets there and empty buckets there. In fact, we don't really want that there. What we do want is probably a couple of drop-off points for the empty buckets. So we'll have one there, we'll have one there, we'll have one there. That should do it. Let's just make all this look a little bit nicer while we're here, because I do want to try and make this factory look good as we go along. So that's working fairly well, but before we go any further, what I need to do is sort out proper water for these power plants. And I think we're going to do that around the back here. We're just going to slam down a bunch of pumps, and we're going to use some copycat panels with some glass, build a nice little tank of water, which we're then going to fill up. That should do the trick, and now we just need to get some power over here. I'm hoping a simple gearbox and a few cogs over this way should just about do the trick. That is feeding them water, and that will speed up and they'll get a lot more water once we give it some heat. Although I have maybe made a bit of a boo-boo with my infinite water source here, that's never going to work, is it? Not to worry, we can rectify this ever so slightly, and what I'm going to do is just move the pumps up a little bit here. Right, there we go, that's better. They should all be getting a lot more water now. Yes, look at that. I just need to sort out the heat situation situation now because these are going to run out of lava soon. So we're going to steal the lava from over there, of course, and we're going to need to route that over to about here. We're going to stick a spout on there, get a pump facing that way, connect that up to these cogs. I've completely missed that. Okay, let's just do that again. We'll just move that back one, and we'll connect those with the belts, and that should give us lava. Look at that, wonderful. So if we load loads of buckets in here, they're going to go round, fill up with lava, and hopefully just line up on this belt here. Yes, wonderful. Now we need to set up mechanical arms, and we're going to have one for each of the power plants. And to make my life easier, I'm just going to dig out this bit while I make the connections. So this first arm, we want him to deposit into these 9. We want him to take from around here somewhere, and we want him to put his empties in there. And there we go, that's all 4 of those done. We just need some vertical gearboxes, like so. A bunch of shafts and a connection there. And when we apply cogs, the arms are going to start doing their thing. Oh, this is wonderful. This makes me very happy. You can hear the engine speeding up as well. And we're now producing 589,000 stress units. Oh, that's wonderful. But we do want to keep an eye on that. So let's build ourselves a little display board. We'll make it look nice as we go. And then we just need to sneak a little bit of power into this thing. And we'll set up some display links. And there we go. So we're using 5,500. We have 584,000 available. I'll be amazed if we get through that today. But the last thing to do for the power plant is just to make it safe. Got to get those safety barriers in place. And there we go. Safety rails have been installed. The power is up. We know how much we've got. Let's crack on. Why is there a pole sticking out there? And of course, the basis to any good Create factory is going to be a cobble generator. A really big cobble generator. But we've all done cobble generators before, and they're quite boring to build and probably quite boring to watch, to be honest. So luckily for you, I've saved you that trouble, and look at this. Here is a cobble generator doing its thing. At least it should be doing its thing. Why is it not doing its thing? There we go. Now it's doing its thing. So this isn't actually my design. It's a design that Foxy taught me, that he learned from someone else. I have no idea who actually designed it originally, so sorry about that. But it should work nicely, and it gets us a couple of stacks every few seconds, which is great because we're going to need a whole lot of cobble. And I'll even put a sign at the top here so we can see how much we're getting in. Now that we have cobble, there's a bunch of things we can do. We can directly turn that into gravel. We can make stone. We can make Blackstone, and we can make Netherack. Eventually, we might even be able to make some andesite too. But let's start nice and simple. And first off, we're just going to make gravel. So with this cobble, because it's going to be used for a numerous amount of farms, I think what I want to do is put a great big belt at the start here. We're just going to block off the end of that so we don't have issues. I'm going to stretch this right across the front here. And then we're just going to use splitters. So anytime a farm needs cobble, some will go there, the rest will carry on, and so on. It does mean the farms towards the end are going to get less and less cobble. But to be honest, I'm not really too concerned about that at the moment. We're not building this for efficiency as such, more just for magnitude. So to make gravel is nice and easy. We're just going to put a belt down here, like so. I think it makes sense to actually power this from the start. Oh, that's too long now, isn't it? Yeah, that's too long. It's fine. We'll go to here. Then I'm just going to put a splitter there. And over here, we just need 2 vertical gearboxes, shaft, and some crushing wheels. And then we're just going to feed all the gravel into another vault. And there we go. Just like that. We're now getting gravel. At least we should do when that crushes. There we go. Wonderful. And I quite like having these signs at the top here, so I think we're going to do that again for this one. So we'll call that gravel and use the smart observer and a display link. On the amount of matching items on line 2, set that to gravel. And there we go. Okay, so we've got cobble and gravel. And I think from here it might make sense to then crush down the gravel into sand, because that's something else we know we can do. So let's crack straight on with that. But that's going to be exactly the same setup as this. In fact, no, it's not, because we actually want to be taking the gravel from here and not from the main belt. So yeah, this just wants to go straight across like that. We just need to grab some of them and some of them, stick all of this in here, and then we just need to steal some power, which we're going to grab from the other side of that vault. Couple of gearboxes, and then that. Look at that. Wonderful. So that's going to give us sand. So it does occur to me we're probably going to need quite a lot of gravel, so I'm actually going to double up this bit here. There we go. That should just about do it. I've decided to simplify it. I'm just taking the cobble straight out of there, turning 2 lots into gravel, and then we've got 1 lot being turned into sand. So in theory, we should end up with a roughly even amount of gravel and sand. So next up, I want to make stone, which is as simple as cooking this stuff. And there's a whole bunch of ways we can do that, but I'm going to do it in a slightly interesting way. It won't be the most efficient, but it'll be a bit more fun. So we're going to start off with some depots. We're going to stick a shaft on top of each of those. Then we're going to grab some copycat panels and put them across here like this. We're going to make a nice little frame here and then fill it with lava. lava. Gonna need to steal some power, so let's bring that over this way. In fact, I think we can put this in right here. Vertical gearbox. Bring that power down. Gonna use some encased chain drives across here. And then we just need encased fans there, there, and there. However, they are going in the wrong direction. Easy fix. Job done. We have 3 cookers. Now, to get those things cooking, I just need to put in a little bit of power down here. We just rotate one of those out, grab a vertical gearbox, and shove some power down. Some more encased chain drives here, in fact. That is now spinning, which means we can grab ourselves a mechanical arm. That's not how you spell arm. That is. Tell him to pick up off of this belt and place stuff on there. But there we go. Deposit items to depot. Give him a little cog. And that's wonderful. We should start making stone. We also need to get this stuff off of the depot, however, so we're going to stick a nice big vault in the back here, and we'll have another arm taking things from there and putting them in there. Although I do want to make sure that's only happening with stone. So, yeah, let's do the filter first, and there we go. So now we're going to slowly generate stone. We're probably not going to need it for too much. That means we can stick up another sign, woot, and there we go. We have stone coming in. Plenty of stone already. Good. And you may notice I've also left plenty of space out the back here, and that's because it's very likely we're going to need more cobble generators as we go along, so I kind of want to leave that space available. Oh, my power station's stopped for some reason. And I think I know what that reason is. I didn't actually put the recycler in. Whoops. Let's just give this another quick kick start. There we go. Now it's actually going to work. As soon as the lava on this side's filled up, the other ones should start getting some, and then we should start having the buckets actually going round. Yep, our power generation is creeping back up again, but we're only using 13,000 so far. Right, what was I going to do? Oh, yes, we're going to make something else out of cobble, and in fact, we're going to be doing this setup again over here, or at least very similar to that. But we're actually going to be using soul campfires, which means we don't actually need those poles. For power, I may as well just carry this line along, because we know the fans are already going in the correct direction. Look at that. So this is pretty much done now. I just need to put the arm and extend the conveyor belt at the front here, but this is going to be making Blackstone for us, which I don't believe has anything useful I can actually do with it that's unique to Blackstone, so we're probably not going to be using that for anything else, I don't imagine. No, it's just decoration, really, isn't it? But it was something I could make from the cobble, so it had to be done. So let's just get this arm taking from those 3, placing on those 3, and do your thing, sir. And a bit of tidying up. All right, well, that's not a bad start. We're just over an hour in. We've got our power station up and running, and we've got, well, 6 farms so far. We've got cobble, gravel, sandstone, and blackstone. That is 5, not 6. I can math. So now we've got some of the basics in, I think it's time to make some of the shinies. And that means I need to bring gravel over here. So in order to get gravel over here, we could do things simply, but where's the fun in that? So what we're going to do is get in a couple of those, stick in a big old belt. In fact, I actually need that belt to be just a little bit longer, and it's time to get something airborne. So we're going to use a weighted ejector here. We'll sneak it some power from down here, I think. And what I should probably actually do is set a target for this thing, which is, of course, going to be over here. So that should work. We just stick a funnel on there, and I guess we should get some power to this belt. It looks like we're going to need some kind of a backboard on here. Let's just do that. Blocker on the end. And I'm hoping once the belt's full, the ejector's going to stop throwing stuff, which does appear to be the case. Excellent. Well, isn't that fun? Right, next, what do we need to do? Gravel. We need to wash this gravel and turn it into iron and flint. We're going to get lots of flint. But can't we turn the flint into andesite somehow? Isn't that a thing? Yes, here it is. If we mix it with gravel and lava, we can turn it into andesite. So we'll keep hold of the flint, I think. In fact, we could make an iron farm and then an andesite farm right next to it. That sounds good. But first up, iron. And this should be fairly straightforward. If I just stick a little box there, we'll stick a couple of encased fans in front like that. Some shafts and a big old belt. Let's just make it look nice. Then we can just stick water here and have it slowly come down this way and wash as it approaches. That's going to need a bit more space for water there. So if we just stick some copycat panels there to hold the water. Guess it's going to need one in front as well. Put the water in there. And then we need to steal some power. And I think we'll just steal that from over here. Let's use belt power and hope it's going the right way. It's not. Why is nothing ever going the right way? Luckily, direction on this bit doesn't matter. There we go. Wonderful. We should start washing gravel once it comes off of this, which means we need another one of... Nope, we haven't even got any out. But what we need is a tunnel. Or do we? Are we going to use the gravel for anything else? Probably not going to be making concrete over here. Yeah, we're going to be... Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll definitely keep it like this then, just so it takes some of it. So with that now producing, what we need to do is separate the items out. And I want the iron nuggets to go into here and get compressed into iron ingots, which means we need one of them. And let's turn that way round, and it should be a bit easier for us to get power. Let's just bring a shaft this way. Use a couple of gearboxes. That should do the trick. In fact, I think I need to put this bowl a little bit further away because we need to be careful about what the arm is going to be picking up, which basically means I think we need volts, because then I can stick a filter on that top one there for iron nuggets. Then we can spit those onto a belt here, and a cheeky little gearbox in here should get that belt moving in the right direction. An input there, and then this second volt here, we want that to get full of flint. Now we just need to set up a little worker so you can collect from there, you can put things into there and there, you can live there. And if I stick a cog in there, hopefully, he'll start doing his thing. Does appear to be the case. Then this should start making iron ingots. Wonderful. We just need to add ourselves another volt for iron ingots. Although we have just got a trapdoor out of that thing, so yeah, I've set a filter now. That was unexpected. So that's another thing ticked off the list. And next up, I think it's going to be andesite. But first, I need to go make myself a cup of tea. Hanging around in a factory all day makes me want it even more than normal. Wait a minute, is a part of my head see-through? I can see through my goggles. I can see through my head. That's just weird. Got a fresh cup of tea, and I've got over the fact that my head is see-through. I think it's time to crack on. And next up, we're going to make ourselves some andesite. And the first thing I need for that is lava. So let's just steal that from the big tank. And we want that to go into a basin right about there. Next, we need to bring over the flint. I did also notice we were getting near the back of the factory, so I've just added on another couple of sections, and we've got plenty more we can add if we need it. We have a lovely schematic here for it, just in case you thought your eyes were deceiving you with the scale there. So what we want is the flint, so let's get that over this way. Have that going into the basin there. Then we also need a shaft there and one there, so we can stick a belt on that way. We'll actually have the gravel go in that side, and then I just need another one of these on there. So if we just do this and this, then reverse that again there, then a filter, and pump in the lava. Is that going to be strong enough? Not quite. Not to worry, we'll stick another pump in there. Now, if we attach that, we should start getting andesite. That's flint. That's flint. That's flint. Why are you just giving me flint? Oh, probably because I need to put a filter on there. There we go. Now we're getting andesite. And you know what that means. We need to set up another storage container and another sign. And there we go. Andesite is now in the mix. And I've even added a few support bits here and there just so that didn't look quite so janky. As well, of course, as a safety barrier at the front here. Well, we're making some pretty good progress, but I think I want more shiny things in the mix. Just iron isn't enough for me. And we're still averaging over 200 frames per second, which is fantastic. Before we can do anything else, though, I've concluded I need more cobble. We're not keeping up. So I'm just going to stick another one of these right next to it. There we go, we've got an extra couple of stacks of cobble coming in every few seconds. And that seems to be enough. We're actually starting to collect some cobble again. Excellent. Now, where was I? Oh yes, more shinies. And for these shinies, I need sand. And we've got 40,000 of it, so that won't be a problem. And what I want to do with sand is to get gold. But to get gold, I need red sand. And to get red sand, I need granite. Oh dear. Or I need terracotta. To get terracotta, I need clay. And to get clay, I need clay balls. And clay balls is something we should already have a small amount of over here. In our gravel vault, which I completely forgot about. No, we have no clay. Oh no, wait a minute. In here. Yes, here we are. So here in the sand vault, we actually have lots and lots of flint, but also lots of clay. So I guess the first thing we need to do is filter out the flint and the clay from this box, which I'll be honest, I completely forgot was going to be a thing. And we're going to get those into their own boxes. So I guess this next section here is just going to be for storage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a belt that runs across the back of all of these over to here. Probably going to need a bit more, and that's going to have to move. Just stick it on the side, get a belt in. We'll have some funnels filtered for flint over here, clay over here, and a fiery death for any overflow. So I just need to create a filter that only lets out flint and clay balls. We'll put that on there, rotate it round, and I suppose we should probably give it some power from somewhere. That looks like a good spot. There we go. Guess we should link up some boards for them. There we go. That's clay balls and flint added to the system, and we didn't even know we were making them, so that's just wonderful. And although we are making clay balls, we're definitely going to want more than that. So in order to make more, we're going to need sand, but I've got an idea of how we can get that over here. here. So the question is, will it have a clear path if we were to do this? Getting power to it should be easy enough. We put that there with, let's say, 16 at a time. Filter it for sand. And if we get this belt moving, it should start flinging. Okay, it looks like... Haha, look at that. It's going to make it. Oh, that's wonderful. Excellent. We have sand. Let's make it look nice. So with the sand, there's a few things we want to do. We want to cook it to make glass. We want to haunt it to make soul sand, and we want to wash it to make more clay. So let's make a start just with 3 different lines. In fact, no, what we're going to do is we're going to haunt for 2 of them, we're going to smelt for 2 of them, and then we're going to wash for 3 of them. So let's move this back a little bit. And I want to use the mechanical arms here again, just because it's more fun than doing the belt thing we did for iron. That was boring. So let's get in a bunch of fans. They're all blowing in the right direction, which is perfect. Now we just need shafts to hold up the water and shafts to hold up the lava, a bunch of copycat panels to hold in the liquids, soul campfires on those 2, water on those ones, and lava on those ones. Oh, that sand's going to get messed up in all sorts of ways. Although it does occur to me I should probably do these things the other way round, the old lava and water, because clay balls are actually being stored just over there. So we'll just quickly do a little bit of shuffling. There we go, that's going to make much more sense to us. So we just need a little input there for the clay. Then we need an arm that's going to take from there, put into there, and live there. Let's just make sure we're filtering that correctly. And we need to bring the power over to this side. Stick another cog down. No, that's not a cog, that's a cog. And we want this dude to place things on every single one of these depots. And you can just grab things from this belt here. There Hopefully that'll do his thing. And now I just need storage for glass and for soul sand. There we go. That belt should do it. That's going to sort out the glass and the soul sand. We just need to stick a little arm in here to grab from those 4 and put it on the belt. Like that. Make it look nice, of course. Right, well, that's 2 more resources done and hopefully a lot more clay balls coming through. Let's get some signs in. Well, this dude's been very naughty and he's been putting sand on this belt. So we're just going to slightly change what he does and we're going to take it from there and put it through the filter. There we go. And now hopefully he'll stop taking all the sand. Let's get rid of that. There we go. That's better. Just be more patient. Now, what were we doing? Oh yes, gold, which means we need to turn clay balls into clay blocks. And I think we're going to do that over here, which means we need to get them over to this side. We've already done a bunch of flinging stuff around, so I think with this one, I might actually just have a belt that sort of goes along at head height. Or maybe we should raise it up a bit first, who knows. Let's just quickly get something in. And there we go, that should do the trick. So we've just got a funnel that's going to eject the clay balls onto this belt here. Although I can foresee a potential problem with that. If I take those... Yeah, so if ever it gets full, it's going to stop for 5 minutes. Well, that's no good. Not a problem. We'll just make some adjustments here. And we'll just do something like that instead. If we add some andesite casing to this, then, yep, they're going to match up nicer as well. And it all ties in perfectly. So with all the clay balls coming down here, we need to turn them into clay blocks, which is easy enough. We just need one of those. Just need an input for the clay balls to get in. And we're going to be a little bit clever here because this, of course, is only going to be making clay at 1 at a time. And we don't really want to be cooking them 1 at a time. So what I'm thinking is, if we were to put some funnels on there to set some filters so we get the right thing, and I want to set this to always do exactly 16 at a time, which will eject onto this depot here. Then we want to do some cooking, and I think we're just going to do 3 at a time because it's going to look better. So let's just quickly knock up another one of these little cages to hold the lava, just like that. Get the encased chain drives in, get the fans in, and get that connected to power. Oh, it's actually going in the right direction for a change. Wonderful. We'll just hook up some power down the bottom here so we can get the arms in, and we should be good. So we want this dude to take from there and deposit onto those 3. And we need to get some power across at the bottom here. So let's just do a bunch of those and do that. Then we need to connect this one, and we need to connect this, which I think is going to be easily done just by connecting to the back here. But it's not going in the right direction, so let's stick another gearbox in, and a couple of encased chain drives. That should do the trick. We just need to get power to this, and that's going to be nice and straightforward. We'll nab it off the top bit here. There we go, job done. And once there's 16 in there, this arm should kick into action. Yep, there he goes. And at this speed, it doesn't look like we're going to need 3, so maybe I should just lower this a little bit more. Not going to speed up the cooking, but it'll look fine. So we now need to put in some storage for the terracotta, but I'm a little bit upset that there isn't 3 spaces here to match everything else we've done. So I'm going to change it. Let's just stop the clay balls coming in for a bit. Going to move all this over by 1. Going to move the belts over, and we're going to move the chutes over. So if we were to do that, then we've got exactly the same thing happening, but now we've actually got space to put our storage container in. There we go, nice and snug. Now what I want to do here is I want to store half of this stuff, and the other half I want to crush down into red sand. And I think the best way to do that is going to be via belts. So let's bring this belt over to let's say about here. Here should do, maybe. Is that going to be enough space? Then we'll have another belt going this way. We're going to have storage for our red sand here. So in fact, we probably want to move this all over by 1. Get some more belts in, like so. And I guess the last one is just going to go directly into this container here. So we also want to load up some of the sand into this container. So I think the best thing to do is a little bit of that. And have a funnel there, and we'll use a splitter. So every time one of these stacks of 8 is cooked, 4 will go this way and 4 will go this way and then get crushed. Or at least it would if we had some crushing wheels in place. So let's get those down, get some power to these belts, which is also going to power our crushing wheel. I think I'm actually going to move these back a block just so we've got a little bit more space to actually sort out the last belt, which is going to need a couple of those and one of those. Nope, one of those and one of those. There we go. Then I need a funnel on there with a filter for terracotta. And this last mechanical arm should hopefully sort it all out. Let's stick you there. That's going to go in there. It should get split. Oh, no, it's not going to get split if this isn't powered, is it? There we go. Now it'll get split. Wonderful. And then it's going to grind that down into red sand. And that's going to go in here. Perfect. But you know what that means. It's sign time. Let's get these up again. Lovely. Another 2 resources sorted. Now let's make gold. And for that, we need some of our freshly made red sand. Let's just pull that across to here. Stick in a belt. And I need a casing. Just so they don't fly off the end. And, of course, to make it look nice. So that's going to eject my sand. And to be honest, we pretty much just need something similar to that. I believe we just need to wash this sand. So let's just quickly bash one of these in. You don't need to see me build it for a 5th time. So that's the washing side of things done, but what we need to do now is split out what we get, because although we do want gold from this, we're also going to be getting dead bushes, and we don't really want those, but we're going to store them anyway, because it's one more thing this factory's producing, I guess. So let's just get some belts in here like this, and another belt in here. We need a tunnel. We want to filter off the dead bushes into that one. Stick that there. We'll get these things some power, which I think we're going to nab from over that side. Wonderful. Couple of gearboxes and one of those, and that needs to not be there. There we go. So the gold nuggets, we're going to have those go over this way, I guess, and turn them into gold ingots, which means we're going to need a basin, we're going to need a press, and that should be just about it. So we'll stick a basin in there, we'll stick a press on top, then we just need to steal some power, and I'm thinking what we can probably do is steal it from there. Ah, no, that's going the wrong way. In fact, that was already going the wrong way. So we're probably better off just sticking a vertical gearbox in there, and doing that. Have an input there, and filter it for gold ingots. All right, that should just about do the trick, I think. Although it'd help if I actually had an arm taking things from there and putting them on... Oh, I'm going to need another filter, actually, aren't I? So if we stick a vertical filter like that, we'll do a list filter, we'll grab some red sand, like that, and we'll set that to deny list. So as long as it doesn't put red sand in there, we should be good. So let's try that again. Take from those 3, put it in there, put that down, and yep, there we go. He's taking the bushes, he's taking the gold, red sand's going down, and he's leaving the red sand. This is what we like. And we're getting gold ingots. All right, awesome. Well, that was quite simple. This factory's getting massive, but it's not big enough. We need to go bigger. So more signs and then more stuff. So I've just got this bit done, and I completely forgot this also makes gold nuggets, which we kind of want to go over there, if I'm honest. In fact, what we need to do is to get them onto this little bit over here. I think it might be time for another sky belt, because there is no clear path for me to fling things through over here. So what we need is, first up, a fan right about here. We're going to put chutes on top of that. with the tiny vault on top, couple of belts there, and another one there. Then we're going to need a ginormous belt that goes all the way over to this thing, which actually needs to be one higher, it would seem. So that belt, can it link to here? No, it hasn't quite got enough space. So let's just stick in another little belty thing here. Now we've got enough space. Okay, going to need some chain drives to keep this spinning. A little bit of gearbox magic over here to get that one spinning. And I think we can just steal the power from here is probably going to be our best bet. Ah, it's going the wrong way. There we go. Make you look nice. Bit of extra support on these bits so they don't look like they're floating. Stick a vault back on there with a funnel. Now, I need to get power to this fan, and I think we'll just steal that from here. And that is moving downwards, so let's stick another one of them in. Items moving upwards. Perfect. And then we'll stick another belt in here with that. Gearbox in there with a thing. That's what we need, not the chain drives. And then we'll just get power to that. Stick those in there. Another funnel on top. Andesite casing here. And gold nuggets in there. So take from those three, place into there and there, and we should be good. So he should place gold nuggets in there. They should get blown up the top here. And yep, there we go. They'll go over here. They'll drop down onto that belt there. And there we go. Okay, cool. So now we should get slightly more gold, but we're definitely going to be getting a lot of quartz. However, we've run into a bit of a problem. We've run out of factory again, but because I prepared, that's easily solved. Let's just get that in place. And another one. Print. And we'll just stick one more in for good measure. There we go. Oh my days, this place is going to be massive. But that just goes to show we've still got a lot of work to do. I mean, we haven't even used a train yet. But anyway, I need to quickly prep this new area because one thing I didn't put in the schematic was power. So I'll see you in a minute once we've got all that sorted. That's the power sorted on both sides. Now we can actually get a sign in here for the quartz. And there we go. We've already got 788. Jeez. So we're doing pretty well on the basic resources here. We've got about, what, 12, 13 different things coming in. But there's a couple more things we can still do with cobble. And that is to make diorite and granite. And I think that's what we're going to work on next. And we're going to do that right over here. However, the first thing we need to do is actually get cobble, which is all the way down the start of the factory here. So, yeah, quite far away. I think the best way to solve this situation is going to be with a train. And I don't think I want to have loads of visible rail all over the place. So, what we're going to do, I say completely visible, we're actually going to use this, which is the narrow tileless track. I think that's just going to look a little bit better for us. And I'm hoping we can get away with just having something going backwards and forwards along the front here, but we'll have a little play around and see what we can do. So, first up, let's build ourselves a tiny little train. And with the latest Steam and Rails update, look at this. We've got so many things we could use. Comically large, probably not what we want. Got standard ones and standard doubles. But look at this, we've got loads of things going on. So we've got single axles, probably don't want that. I imagine we're definitely going to want a double axle of some kind, but I don't even know what I want this train to look like. I mean, that one looks pretty cool. It's going to be pretty big though, isn't it? Maybe what I should do is actually sink these rails down a little bit. And I'm also potentially thinking maybe instead of an actual train, maybe what we should do is have some kind of just a minecart that goes backwards and forwards, but a nice big one, which means I probably want a fairly standard looking double axle, just something like that. Although in saying that, it looks like only these four here will actually fit on a narrow track. So, this one, I guess, is standard. Like that. Now, how do I make a minecart without framed blocks? This could be quite the challenge. I'll see you in a minute. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not actually come out as bad as I thought it would. But there is a problem. There's nowhere for a driver, which means I think I am going to need to build a proper train carriage for this, which also means I'm going to need to move the station. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not bad. I think that's what we're going to go with. So let's just glue it all together. So we'll assemble the train. That's called Coibble Boy. We've got the Diorite Farm place where it's going to be delivering, but we are going to need to make this a little bit longer because our storage interface is here. Ideally, we want it about there. So we actually need to move this station forward by, what's that, 2 blocks? And there we go. That's the connection made. So we'll just put a track buffer at that end and get this dude lined up at the other side as well. Question is, where in the world am I going to connect it over here? Jeez. All right, I think I've got an idea. So let's pull this train into the station. I'm going to disassemble it briefly, and we're going to replace this with another storage interface. Oh no, wait a minute. We can't do that. we haven't actually got any storage on this yet, which means we need a vault there. Okay, we're going to have to connect to this thing somehow, which means we're going to need to rejig this belt a little bit, I think. So let's just smash that for now. So we'll just use the copycat board to cover that up. We're going to need to get ourselves another one of these about there. Nope, about there. Let's get that train reassembled. Excellent, that links. Then we need to stick a little belt in here. Nope. Here. We'll get that linked up to power there. We'll have a funnel there. And I think if we were to put a chute there and an entrance funnel there, yeah, look at that. And that's going to load up our little dude over here. So that bit was easily solved. Now we just need to move the other belt. So how about... let me think. So we'll put a belt up there. We'll bring it down to there. We'll adjust this just a little bit. Give me some space to get one of them in. Connect up that belt. In fact, probably better off with a normal gearbox there. Another connection there for that one. A couple of encased chain drives in there. And a funnel. Wait a minute. That one's going the wrong way. There we go. In fact, we could just make this a bit simpler, couldn't we? Asked to do that. So you're getting cobble again. The train's getting cobble. Let's take this back to the other side and work out the offloading system. So we're going to empty that onto this belt here, and we're going to have that going directly into a basin, I think. And that'll be a no, because we're going to be making it with nether quartz and cobble. So I guess we're going to be going the mechanical crafter route. Yeah, we're certainly not doing calcite. So, yeah, this will be it then. So it probably makes most sense just for that to go directly into a tiny little vault here. So we just need a couple of funnels there and there, and that's just going to give us a tiny little store of cobble. And I believe this one here is the quartz, so that's very handy. So what we're going to do is just have 2 depots there like that. We're going to use some item drains, and then we're going to have the quartz coming out here, and we want them to extract 2 at a time, most likely. And this one here is going to be extracting cobble, also at 2 at a time. Just get rid of all the excess there. There we go. So we then need a bunch of mechanical crafters here. Let's grab ourselves a wrench. Do that like that. Give it a bit of support. Then we want funnels in the back here, and we want to make sure we're filtering these, just like that. And then we'll have a mechanical arm take from those 2 and place into these 4. And you can live there. So we're going to need a bit of power over here. Where are we going to grab that from? Maybe if we stick in a couple of gearboxes there, we can get power to that one nice and easily. And we should be able to get power to here quite easily as well, just with one of those and a cog. This upsets me though, so we're going to have to put some andesite casing there. And I also need to get some power to this. So we're going to go underneath, I think. Grab ourselves some encased chain drives, which if we do that, stick in a shaft, get one like that, and then stick a cog on. Nope. Stick a cog on there. That should start making us some diorites. Yes, look at that. We have that go directly into a vault? We can. Wonderful. Although I don't think we want it doing that. What we probably want is a belt here, which splits off some this way, and I believe some to make granite as well. Yes, look, diorite and quartz. So in fact, if we have this here, stick a belt in there to grab the quartz, we'll have this one here to grab the diorites, but we want some of that diorite being filtered off into a storage container. Just here we're going to have a basin with a couple of inputs, one going that way, one going that way. Then we'll have a couple of item drains there going into a vault right here. And we're also going to want a vault there. No, just like that. Now, I need to get power to these belts, not going that way. So we need another gearbox and a shaft. Need a brass tunnel there to split everything up. More power, but that's going the wrong way. That's better. That one needs power as well. That needs an exit. Probably set that a little bit lower. That needs an entrance. And I need myself a mixer, which is going to live right there. Let's just steal a little bit more power up here. We need a cog. There's one. Perfect. Now, if we get rid of that, that's going to make us granite. Let's just make sure that's all it's going to make. Though apparently, if I don't have a vault here, the diorite just flies everywhere. So let's quickly adjust this ever so slightly. Just move it over by 1, and then we'll stick a funnel on there. There we go. Make it look nice. Couple of brackets for the shafts, just so they don't look weird. All right, so we're almost done. We just need to set a schedule for the train, which means we need a driver. We'll grab ourselves a conductor's cap, and we'll make ourselves a tiny little andesite man. I love these dudes. Just get you in there. Yep, that's going to be your new home, buddy. And now we just need a schedule. And what we want it to do is travel to station Coibble Fun Times, go there for 20 seconds, and then come back to Diorite Fun Times and wait there for, let's say, 20 seconds. Why not? And that is literally going to be it for the rest of your life. Off you go, buddy. Amazing. We've managed to squeeze a train into our factory. Why am I holding glow lichen? Go away. But that is quality. Let's just make sure he comes back and makes it back here okay. I assume it's loading up down there. Kind of hard to tell from here. Is it already loaded up? Oh, here he comes. He's a bit of a speedy boy. I might have to slow him down a bit. But yeah, look at that. We're getting more cobble. Wonderful. Let's just slow you right down. Carry on. Don't look at me like that. Right, we need some signs up here to show what we're making. And there we go. That's 2 more basic resources done. And a train. We have a train in our factory, and that makes me incredibly happy. So next up into this giant mega factory, we're going to be making redstone. And I don't really know how to make this. Well, we're not going to be crushing down redstone devices, are we? We don't have redstone ore. We don't have crushed iron. What's this? Potion of strength squirted onto cinder flour makes redstone. How do we get cinder flour? Crushing Netherack, of course. And how do we get Netherack? Mixing andesite and netherwart. I'm pretty sure that's not a basic create recipe. So it looks like we need to squirt potion of healing onto cobblestone. Potions of healing are made using glistering melons and awkward potions. So, okay, well, we're making gold. So we're going to need a melon farm. We need awkward potions, so we need a netherwart farm. I'm going to make a list. All right, I've made a list. So the first step, we need to make melon and netherwart farms, which is going to give us glistering melon and then awkward potions once we mix them with gold or water. We then mix the glistering melons with the awkward potions, which gives us potions of healing. And then we mix the healing and the cobble to get Netherack, which gets us the Netherack, not the redstone, but we've got to start somewhere. And that's fun because it means we get to build some proper farms. So let's replace this whole area here with some dirt. Oh, wait a minute. We're in creative. So let's do that and basically fill up the whole thing, I guess. Most of it. Maybe to here. Let's go to here. And boom, there we go. Dirt. We are going to need to hydrate this land though. So let's just stick in a few water spots and we'll cover those up with trapdoors so we don't fall in them. Right. A hoe and some melon seeds. There we go, 1 tiny melon patch. And I think we're gonna harvest these with drills. Probably gonna be our best bet. So we're gonna need a portable storage interface. We're gonna need some storage. Let's just grab a little vault. And we're gonna need a way to make this thing move. And for that, I think we're gonna come over to here, get some powered rail in, get one of those bits of rail, and then we need a cart contraption, one of those, and a minecart. Stick that in there, make sure that is set to lock rotation. We don't want any nasty accidents now. Then we need to glue all of this together, and hopefully that should just rock back and forth. Well, that is wonderful. That is working a treat, but let's just give these things a little bit of a kickstart. So let's turn it off for now and give them all a whole lot of bone meal. To be honest, they could do with a bit more light as well, I think. So let's hang down some lights over here, make some little light brackets. In fact, I'm going to get rid of these beams and we're going to use something slightly different. These big giant chains, because they just look cool. And we'll just put in some fluorescent lighting like this, I think. That does look cool, but I think we need another one. So let's get rid of these lights here. Maybe put one right down at the front here. There we go. I think that works pretty well. Let's just turn it back on. And that's going to give us some melons. Now what we need to do, though, is offload them. So, big vault here, probably, most likely. Let's be honest, it's usually always a big vault. And just like that, we have a vault in, and we've got a very over-elaborate and totally not needed offloading system. I could have just connected the storage thing directly over here and had it go straight in, but where's the fun in that? So if we add that, we should have some melon coming down there. Brilliant. And in fact, if we set that to 1 and dump down a few more test melons, we let the drills work a treat, which is good. And we should end up with loads of melon coming down. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. And then this little arm puts them in there, which once again, completely pointless, but I love it. And of course, we have our sign to count up our melon as well. Annoyingly though, I'm in creative and I've replaced my clipboard, so my list is gone. But no bother, I'm just going to quickly bone meal the rest of these, and then we'll figure out how to make potions, I guess. Now, the first step to making these potions was to make glistering melons, which I believe we're going to need a whole bunch of auto-crafters for. We're going to have a vault there. Let's say we'll have auto-crafters here. In fact, let's knock them back just a little bit to here, maybe. We need a wrench to rotate them round. And the glistering melon recipe has gold nuggets all around the outside here, so I think it makes sense to do that. Then we can get away with just having 2 funnels on the back, 1 for melons and 1 for the gold. Getting the melons, that's going to be easy enough. We'll just set that to 1. And getting the gold, well, we've made it a little bit awkward for ourselves because we're currently turning them into gold ingots, so I guess we're going to need to turn them back into nuggets. First off, though, So we need to get the gold from here over to here, and I think we're just going to use a weighted ejector down the front here and launch it over here somewhere. So we'll put a belt in around there for the weighted ejector to come over to, but then we basically, because I like to make things difficult for myself, we're turning everything into gold ingots, but now over here we actually need to turn it back into nuggets. But I'm not changing that, so we'll live with it. Here we go. So that'll give us nuggets back, and if we just put a small belt in here, in fact this one can be a lot shorter, can't it? That one can stop there. We'll have a little belt come over here with a depot on the end. Then we set up the weighted ejector to shoot from here, and we can just steal a bit of power for that from over here, I reckon. Chuck in a couple of in-case chain drives, that should do the trick. We'll make sure that's only going to fling one at a time, and yeah, that should land over here just fine. Hopefully. Next up, we need to sort power, so if we put some of these across the top here, put a cog there, that's going to power those. I'm hoping what we can do is then steal that power, route it over here. That is going the wrong way. There we go. And that's bringing gold nuggets over. Fantastic. That's great to see all of that working. Now let's get the mechanical arm in place. We want him to take from there, and put them into those two. But I should probably set the filters first, otherwise bad things are going to happen. So melon in there, gold nuggets in there. Let's get those turned around, and then we should be able to link up the arm. Put a vault there. That's going to store all our melons. Wonderful. I don't think we need a massive vault for these. We're just going to make it a little bit bigger to make it look better, but that's probably going to do the trick. Let's just add our safety barrier, which I guess we're going to have to extend out a little bit over here, and make it look nice, of course. Well, it's been quite nice doing all that bit. It's been very different to the rest of it. This place is massive. But we're still not done. All of this was to make some kind of a potion. What was it for again? Oh yes, we're trying to make potions of healing so we can make Netherack. And to get these, we still need... We've got the Glistering melon. We need to make awkward potion, which means we need Netherwart. That was it. We need a Netherwart farm. And that should be nice and easy. We shouldn't need one that's too big either. So let's just make Netherwart here. So a whole bunch of soul sand, a few trapdoors, some Netherwart on top, and we're almost done already. And there we go, Netherwart Farm. But we do need to automate it. But that shouldn't be too difficult. Let me just grab a few temporary blocks at the back here. Oh, geez. Get some harvesters in, a little bit of storage, and a portable storage interface. And then we just need another hole and another contraption. Very similar to what we did over at the Melon Farm there, in fact. And there we go. That should just about do it. Look at that. Netherwart Farm, easy peasy. And that's storage sorted. Went a bit simpler with this one. We've got a smaller vault and just a very simple system here because there was slightly less space more than anything. And there we go. Now we've got the sign in as well. So what do we do now? We need to make awkward potion, and then we need to make health potions. So let's work out how to make potions over here. And I'm assuming it's going to need mixing bowls and pipes. Oh no, am I going to have to use pipe filters? I hate those things. Now for these potions, the first thing we're going to need is water. And we're storing water currently all the way back here. And I could just pipe it all the way over, but I think I want to make a tiny little water tank train. I quite like this train running backwards and forwards over here, so we're going to have a similar one on this side, which I guess is going to need to be a little bit further out. So let's just chuck a station down randomly for now. We'll figure that out later. And let's build ourselves another train. And to be honest, I think I'm going to make the engine look the same as this one here. There's no reason not to. So I've done the front of the train the same as the other one, but the back here, I think, well, we need to make it a fluid container, don't we? So maybe just something as simple as this, just so we can see that it's full of water going backwards and forwards, although I've done it a block too far away. There we go, that's better. Now we'll just quickly glue all this together and get it on its way. We'll just give that train a name, the water train, of course. Couldn't help myself, but let's reverse this all the way back to here, where we do need to add a station. That's the water station. Pull into there, and what we need to do is still water out of this tank and pump it into there. Yeah, that'll do it. We'll add a few brackets for good measure. And then we just need to get this pump hooked up. So we'll just bring that over this way. There we go. So that should fill up the train. Yep, look at it go. Wonderful. Then once it's full, we'll drive him to the other side and work out how to make potions, which I think I've said about 3 times now. Our train is full. Let's take it for a drive through our factory here. Slow it down as well, and let's get this station set up properly, which means our water is going to come out there. Yep, that is correct. Excellent. So we want to bring the water out and pump it into a basin, and in that basin what we want is Netherwart. We'll set that to 1 at a time. That's better. And then we want a mixer, and that's going to make us awkward potion. So let's make sure we put that on there. So once we've made the awkward potion, what we then need to do is get that pumped into another basin. And that basin is going to want shiny melons. And in fact, I don't trust the filter on the basin, so I'm also going to make sure that this is only pumping out awkward potions. They're going to go into here, and that's going to make potions of healing, which go into a spout and squirt on cobble. Oh dear, how are we going to get cobble over here? We'll worry about the cobble in a minute though. I kind of want to make sure that everything else is going to work first, and I have just installed some power. I just need to bring over some of these glistering melons. And I think the only way for me to realistically do that is going to be through a network of weighted ejectors. So let's stick one here. We'll hook them up properly afterwards. I just want to make sure they're getting to where they need to be. Then we'll have to have one there, then one there, and then one there. And we should just actually be able to launch them straight into the pot. That'll be nice. So let's actually link these up. Make sure they're all set to stack size 1 as well. Otherwise, that's going to potentially cause some problems. All right, I think that should do it. I'm just going to have to get all those powered. And it also occurs to me I should probably actually be pumping out this water. Let's put a pump there. So the water's definitely going in. Excellent. We'll just get a mechanical arm putting those into there. Oh no, do I need to heat these as well? It appears that I do. That means I've got to change some of this. So I think I've reorganized the pipes effectively so I can get the blaze burners underneath, but I do need to get them some fuel, and that's what this arm's going to do. He's going to take lava buckets from here, and he's going to fill up those two, and then he'll deposit the empty buckets somewhere else. But I need lava first. I think we're just going to fill these up right here, so I need a whole bunch of pipes, and we need to get all the way over to the lava. Good excuse to run some pipes along the back walls, I guess. Then we just need lots of pumps, which also means we need lots of cogs and shafts. And there we go. That's getting lava into there. And we just need a nice simple setup here. We do that and chuck in some empty buckets. It should create a lava bucket. We want this guy to deposit those lava buckets into those bits and the empty buckets up there. And it appears to be working. He's loading them up. Now that's finally making awkward potion, which is being pumped over to here. Now we need the melons, which means we need to power up our network of flinging machines and hope for the best. So once we add this, we should see how it goes. Go one melon. Yep, he makes it. He makes it. Ah, pipe. Right, there we go. Ignore all the lava. That'll go away in a minute. It's fine. But that seems to be working. We're definitely getting potions of healing. That's all going into here. And then putting cobble on that should give us Netherack. Look at that. And then we're just going to store the Netherack in this tiny vault here, which, in fact, I might make a tiny bit bigger. So, apart from the fact we need to get cobble onto this bit here, I think this is almost done, our little Netherack factory. I mean, that was a lot of steps just to get to Netherack. And it's not even Netherack we want, it's redstone dust. So the question is, how are we going to get cobble over here? I mean, I'm assuming we've still got plenty right down at the start of the... No, we've got nothing. But I think that's just because our cobble gens have stopped where I've exited and come back into the world. Yeah. That'll be it. Okay, well, once we've got cobble, how are we going to get it over here? I mean, we already have the cobble train bringing it to this spot there. Could we maybe bring him over to there as well? We could put a sneaky station back here, maybe. So, for example, obviously we would dig out the floor if we were going to do this, but we could potentially come over this way and come over this way and make a turning and just pull in here. I mean, we'd have to build a little bridge in the middle of the factory to get over the rail, but that could be quite fun, right? Let's just carve out the edge of where this track needs to go. But yeah, I think we're going to do it. I mean, this thing picks up loads of cobble at a time and it's not all getting used there, so we can remove that barrier and get this rail installed. I guess it also means we can keep just extending it if we need cobble elsewhere as well. So thinking about it, what we could actually do is just connect onto this rail and make use of some train signals. That'll be fun. Right, that should just about do it. And I guess I'm gonna have to steal your train briefly, buddy. Oh my days, I'm inside your head. Right, well that didn't work. I guess I'm gonna have to drag him off. Come here, you. Get off that train. Get off. I know you're keen, but you're going to have to wait. My turn. See ya. So we'll have this train go round here. We'll have it go this way and pull in round the back here, which means I should probably put a station in right about here. We shall call this Nether Cobble as it's making Netherack. Get him pulled in and then sort ourselves out an offloading system. And I reckon we can just about squeeze a belt in down here, which would come around this corner, though the storage interface is on that side, isn't it? So I guess we're gonna have to do something a little bit funky, but I think we can solve it with some long belts just going around the back here, as long as we make them look nice. In fact, I'm gonna move this belt just a little bit further back. So that way it's going to be a little bit easier to get these things power. There we go. And I'm just going to put a temporary block there, then put a funnel, a filter, and I want to make sure that it's only taking one right from the very start here. So there, one at a time. That should go over here onto our lovely little depot. Turned into Netherack, put in the box. Wonderful. Now let's sort out a couple of train signals here, just so we don't end up with any problems. So that one wants to be able to go in both directions. This one wants to go in both directions. And so does this one. In fact, I need to do this again, because I need to make sure that the entrances to all these bits are brass, so that nothing stays in here if it can't get back out again. The main issue being this guy's station is actually on this track, so I want to make sure that this dude does not enter the area while that is the case, if this guy's dropping off water. And I also need to make sure that this guy doesn't enter when this one's passing through, so that should just about sort it. Now I just need a fresh driver for the water train. That's going to be you. And I guess we'll be nice and take this train back to the Coibble guy. He looks like he misses it. Look at him, staring off into the distance, wishing his train was here. Here I come, buddy. Don't you panic. You want your train back? And resume your schedule as well. Oh, actually, no, don't. Come back. You're going to have a new schedule. So let's add Nether Cobble, and you can go there for 20 seconds as well. Enjoy. Now it's time for the water train. We'll do the same thing, I think, just 20 seconds at each side. Off you go. Now I just want to make sure these dudes are going to behave and not crash into each other. So he's on the move, he should wait there. And then Mr. Water should go away. Why are you not going away? Don't look at me like that. Oh, I'll put the same station in twice. That'll be why. You need to go to the water station. There you go. Let's skip that stop because you're already there. Now there we go. Okay. He's off. Now Coibble guy's coming in. Gonna do his cobble thing for a little while. And in fact, I think I'm actually gonna put a little storage box here just so we can collect plenty of cobble. So when he's not here, the farm will still run because I'm only offloading one at a time. There we go. Now we've got a little buffer. Now Coibble train's heading off. Water train should come along. Excellent. This looks like it's going to work a treat. But now I need to put a bridge in because we can't get over this bit. I think we're just going to do a nice iron catwalk to get over the top of that. Well, it's probably going to have to be 3 blocks high, which means this lamp's going to need to be raised. Don't want to bop me head. Get the catwalk bridge in and some handrails, of course. Safety first and all that. The bridge is looking a little bit flimsy though, so let's get some supports in. Oh, actually, this is going to need to go back another block. The support wants to go there. All right, looking good. I like it. And we'll put some Nixie tubes on there as well, just so we can see what's going on. All right, perfect. So we're finally making Netherack. What we need to do now is to crush that down, and then we need to squirt another potion on it, which I guess means you're going to have to go to another station as well, Mr. Water. But we're also well into hour 6 of this project now, which means I've only got about an hour and a half left. So hopefully we can at least fill this space and get our redstone going, and maybe even make a component of some kind. I mean, it would be nice to have a purpose to this whole factory, wouldn't it? Besides me going crazy and just really wanting to build as much as possible in one big long line, apparently. And I mean, from the outside, this place is looking ridiculous. That's huge. But before we go any further, I must get my sign up for Netherack. There we go. We've already got 624. This is good. But we need to be making redstone ultimately, so we do need to crush down the Netherack, but more importantly, we need to make another potion. To make potions of strength, we need awkward potions again, and we need blaze powder. And this is going to be a problem because we can't automate blazes and blaze powder and things like that. So the blaze powder, sadly, is going to have to come from a creative chest. I'm not going to the nether. And with blaze powder, we need to mix it with awkward potions. So I wonder, can we maybe just steal some from here? It looks like we're making a lot more than we're using. Let's get rid of that pump temporarily and steal some. I reckon if we come across here, go up here, go through this gap. Nope, we need to go one higher first, and then we'll go through that gap. We'll just pipe it all the way over. And to be honest, I want to keep going. We're going to go all the way back over here as well. I'd kind of like to continue this next farm next to where we're currently up to, so we don't leave any gaps. So we'll bring that all the way down here, and then that wants to go into a basin, just like that. We know from past experiences we're going to need a blaze burner, and of course we need a mixer. And for this one, we're also going to need our creative crates of blaze powder. Feels dirty. And there we go. That's got all the awkward potion piped across. And I've also made a small change down here just so we can actually store some water as well, because otherwise it's only really making the potions when the train is here. And that's not particularly useful for us. I do, however, need to attach this pipe to something. It's a bit dangly at the moment. And I wonder, can I get away with putting a bracket underneath and then iron chains from the top? That works quite nicely. In fact, there's quite a few places where we could do with some brackets, like this back wall here. All right, looking good. Now, I need to sort out some power for this stuff down here. In fact, let's just come out one more. Need a cog there for the mixer. We're going to need one there for the mechanical arm. And yes, it does occur to me we're going to need more lava, which I reckon we can take off of that bit there and send it directly across pretty much. There we go. That's the lava pipe in. And we've got it going to a spout over here. So we'll just do the same thing we did over the other side with the empty buckets. Then we need a mechanical arm taking from there and putting into there. And then we need to take the lava, give it to that guy, and put the empty buckets up there. That's your job, sir. That should start making potions of strength. Wonderful. So that's the first part of the puzzle. The next part is Netherack. We need to get the Netherack all the way over here. And I'm thinking about flinging it, I'll be honest. So if we were to fling it this way, then we can have it land on that belt there. So let's just get those hooked up properly. And we'll do these in stacks of 8 at a time, I think. Not for any particular reason, it just seems like a good amount. So you can live there. We're gonna need that, we're gonna need that, we're gonna need a gearbox, and we're gonna need a funnel that says 8. Next up, we need to give this one power, and I think we'll just do that from up the top here. Grab myself a vertical gearbox, a bunch of shafts, another vertical gearbox, and a shaft there. And he should be happy to shoot over to that one now. And we're just going to steal this power from over here, which we're going to need to reverse, put into there. Then we need a couple of crushing wheels and another shaft in there. And that's giving us cinder flour. Perfect. And we'll store that in a little box right here, I think. And I guess that gives us something to add to a board as well. Not that I've got a board. And to be honest, we're probably not going to have the space for a board because we need this one for redstone. No board for you. Right, so what do we need to do now? We need to pump the strength potion over this way onto another basin. And I guess that means you've got another blaze burner to sort out. So let's quickly redo you. There, and there. Sure you can still reach those? Yeah, that's fine. Need another mixer. Need another one of those. Wait a minute. This isn't what we need at all. What am I talking about? Right, let's do that. Let's put you back how you were. Sorry, fella. What we actually need to be doing is piping this all the way around here somewhere. Maybe over here. In fact, let's make it nice and pipey. Let's go over the top. Good stuff. Then we need a spout and a depot. Gonna put a filter there because I don't trust it. And then I just need a pump. There we go. That should fill that with potion of strength. And then we'll just stick a depot there to take one of those. We need another mechanical arm. Come here, you. Put you on there. You can live in the middle like a happy bunny. And we can do that. We can do that. We can get a cog. There's one. You can live there. Did I not ask you to go from there to... Ah, I see. There we go. Redstone, finally. Let's build a nice big vault to put it in. There we go, nice big vault. And what we can actually do, I think, is repurpose this guy to also put stuff in there. Ah, maybe not actually, because he can't take and put stuff in the same place. Let's see. So I guess you just keep doing what you were doing, and you can do that one. So let's add a sign and call this part done. And the redstone counter is up. I've also made a small change at the front here. For some reason, the flinger that was sitting here was just, I don't know, just wasn't doing its thing, really. So instead, we've just got a tiny belt, and then it rolls along these item drains, goes onto there, and gets crushed. Let's just get our safety barriers in. So we've got a giant factory full of things we didn't really need. We've got trains, we've got belts, we've got arms and crushers and flingers and all sorts of moving things, having a wonderful time. But all of it's useless. We're not actually doing anything useful with any of this stuff, really. But as we've now got access to redstone, maybe we should actually craft some components to give this factory at least a little bit of purpose. So what can we make out of the stuff we have in our factory? Nothing so far. We can make compasses. We can have a compass factory. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to make compasses, which is obviously an extremely valuable commodity in Minecraft. And I think we're going to do that with a hanging belt. It's going to run right down the middle of the factory because this iron needs to go basically across the entire thing. So let's connect you up, and then connect you to something that doesn't exist yet. That is one extremely long conveyor belt line. But of course, we need to make this look nice. I think these chunky chains are going to come in handy again for this. Wonderful. So that should bring the iron all the way over to here. We'll just bring that down a chute like this. And then onto a depot ready for grabbing. And then we're also going to need to grab redstone from out of there. So we've got the iron coming across, making its way all through the factory over to here, hopefully. We've got the redstone ready, and the iron is still making its way. all stacks at the start, but we are just pulling out 4 at a time from now on. And they are where they need to be. Excellent. Okay, so auto crafting. Let's make these compasses. Now, the crafter should be fairly straightforward. It's just that. And we've got filters on the back. This thing's also going to need power. And then we need mechanical arm to take from those 2 and place in all 5 of those. And you can live there. So let's just get him some power. We'll do that. We'll stick a vertical gearbox. Do we have one of those in Vision? There's one. We'll stick that in there with a cog. And this should make our very first compass. Oh, yes. It was all worth it. Oh, it didn't go into the... Oh, dang it. Fine. We'll have them go into a vault then. That's much less fun. But we can't have it going into a tiny vault like that. Let's make a nice big vault over here for all of our compasses. And I guess we should probably put a sign in for how many compasses we have, of course. Be rude not to at this stage, wouldn't it? And there we have it. We're making compasses. 34 so far. Not bad. We've still got a bit of factory left at the end here, though. Not to worry. I have a solution. There we go. Why'd you make a mess all over the floor? But as we stand here and pretend that there is a back wall behind me, look at the size of this factory. This is absolutely huge and not bad for 8 hours work. We've got a couple of little helpers. In fact, I want a few more just standing around. Yep, you monitor that machine, buddy. You can have some fun over here. Yep, stare at that vault. And this guy can just offer some encouragement to the thing trying to hit the target. Why have we got no gravel? Why have we got no cobble again? Have you stopped again? This is not a very reliable cobble generator, which, considering the whole factory relies on cobble, is a little bit concerning. But I must say I've had a blast making this factory. It's been a very fun day for me, and this PC's held up really well considering what I've just put it through, and it seems very capable of handling Create, which is nice. So if you want to get your hands on one, do check out the link in the description, and I just want to say a huge thanks to Cyberpower UK for sponsoring this episode. It's been fantastic. And if you want to see more videos like this where I just do random stuff with Create, then let me know your ideas. I enjoyed this a lot more than I was expecting. Quite fun just messing around in creative. But sadly our 8 hours are now up. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a compass.